What's up, good folks? This is your girl Bernicia. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and welcome to the family, okay? So today, y'all, we're going to be doing a recap for Baddies Africa episode 7. All right, I did miss episode 6, but hell, it was a lot going on. I think this might be episode 8. I don't fucking know, y'all. It's at this point I need to stop putting numbers on these fucking episodes because child, I'm losing track. But anyway, this episode starts off with the girls packing up. They're getting ready to leave from the city that they're at, and they're headed to the next city, which is Johannesburg. Okay. Cut to, we see that the girls packing up, and then we see the black screen. Okay. So apparently Scotty was rushed to the hospital. She had some type of a medical emergency. Now, for those of you who don't tune into social media, I know that this show was filmed a couple of months ago. We're just now getting to see it. But back when the show was being filmed, we did hear about an incident that happened allegedly between Scotty and Lenny, where he ended up beating her ass and sending her to the hospital. Now, I don't know how true that is. That is all allegedly, but that was the word on the curb. So for those of y'all who don't be on social media, that was what was being said. And let's not talk about the fact that when we see Scotty at the hospital, you clearly see like she has some marks on her arm. She has a mark on her hand. Looked like she was pointing out a mark on her hand. Now, she claimed that she was there because she had anxiety, but I don't understand how you have anxiety, but you showing a doctor or whoever the marks and stuff that was on your hand. I don't know what hand marks or hand bruises and bruises on your arm got to do with anxiety, but girl, we'll just go with whatever you saying. You say nothing happened, ain't nothing happened, okay? So moving on. So anyway, we get to see the girls headed out or whatever, woo-woo. So they're going to their respective sprinters. Sprinter 1 was Fauna Rican and Cold Killer, Pretty P, Chocho Brown, and Ivory. Sprinter 2 was Rolly Big Legs, Tavi, Rican, DTB, Elsie, and Dolly. Okay. Now, the conversations going on in these sprinters was interesting, to say the least. Okay. Not only that, but some shit definitely pops off while these girls are in the sprinters. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. So Sprinter 1, you got the new 3 on there. Okay. And they on there, basically expressing the fact that they feel some type of way towards Natalie. Okay, it's like Natalie is not acknowledging them or spending time with them, and they kind of feel iced out by Natalie. Okay. Also, they addressed the whole beef between Chocho and Rican. Now, I know I didn't recap last week's episode, but if y'all watched it, okay, y'all know that Chocho and Rican ended up getting into a fight at the winery. Okay, now I shouldn't have to tell y'all who won. Based off what we've seen so far, I shouldn't have to tell y'all who won, but Chocho definitely won, okay? She beat Rican ass. And basically it was a misunderstanding, okay? Rican was making comments and Chocho felt that those comments was directed towards her. Now, I didn't recap that, but I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about it now. Okay, I don't feel like I don't feel like Rican was directing anything at Chocho. She even said so, and I think that it was uncalled for. I think Chocho fought her for no reason, basically. Okay, but it was funny, and I'm gonna give Chocho a pass. Okay, besides she did beat Rican ass like a mama beats her child. Okay. So anyway, they squashed that up. Chocho don't want to pursue the beef or whatever. So then one of the girls asked her about her situation with DTB, and she says that DTB told her when they get to Johannesburg that she wants that fade, okay? And she says that she's down, like she's on whatever time DTB is on. Now, I seen in the comments that a lot of y'all kept saying, oh my God, why Chocho keep trying to fight DTB? Why she keep trying to fight DTB? And then it doesn't help that you see certain girls in the confessionals, like Pretty P and Ivory, saying, oh, DTB don't want to fight Chocho. It's giving like Chocho's bullying DTB or pressing DTB. I don't know what the case is, but I don't feel like that's actually how things played out, okay? Because if you guys don't know and don't keep track of the social media streets, DTB did a live where she said that Zeus be editing out things, okay? Particularly the part where she called Chocho out. So the fact that we keep hearing Chocho saying that she wants that with DTB, it's not what it looks like, okay? They edited it out when DTB called her out. It's not like a one-sided situation, okay? Now on Sprinter Van 2, things really got to cooking, okay? So I didn't cover last week's episode, but last week Natalie gave away a Baddies chain. Okay? Now, Dolly did not receive the chain. We do know that she's the only OG that's on the show that hasn't received the chain yet. She did earn hers. Hers is well deserved from last season. Okay? Natalie tells Dolly that she's going to get her chain, but the chain that she gave away was actually for Tavi. Okay? Now, hands down, given the performance that Tavi put on last week, she literally fought, I think, Cold Killer, Rican, and Fauna. She fought all three of them hoes and beat their ass. Okay, so hands down, she deserved her Baddies chain when she got it. Okay, and also it was a thing to where Dolly was on social media talking shit about the Baddies chain, saying how they wasn't real and this, that, and the third. So, you know, it was kind of like, okay, well, bitch, since it doesn't matter to you, I'm not gonna bother giving you one, sort of kind of thing. That's the vibe Natalie gave me, right? So fast forward to now. Big Lex, so they on Sprint Event 2. And so Big Lex calls out Tavi. Okay? So she calls out Tavi for allegedly chopping it up with Fauna. Mind you, Tavi and Fauna just fought. They're supposed to be enemies. But apparently they was chopping it up off camera. So Lex felt like Tavi was weird for that. So she called her out. And then on top of that, Dolly was jumping down her throat about the chain situation, saying how she don't feel like I don't know what started the argument exactly, but I do know that Dolly was saying something along the lines of I don't give a fuck about no chain, but she was the one that brought up the chain situation, if you know what I mean. The argument was all over the place. The bitch was screaming and yelling at each other, but then at one point it got so heated to where Lex and Tavi got face to face. Okay, so y'all know how Tavi is. Tavi talk all aggressive, or whatever with the woo. So then Lex got in her face, and Lex was pointing, doing a whole lot of finger pointing, like putting her finger all in Tavi's face. So Tavi was like, keep your hands on my face. Keep your fingers on my face. Respect, New York. That type of vibe, right? And so Lex put her hand in Tavi's face that one more again, and when she did that, Tavi cold caught the shit out of Lex ass. Next thing you know, they squabbling. Okay, now it was a really tight space, so it was hard to tell who was doing what, but you could see Lex was throwing them blows though. That bitch got some long ass arms. They was going at it. Her neck, they was going at it. And meanwhile, while Lex and Tavi is fighting, Dolly decides to snatch Tavi's chain, which is another reason why I felt like that whole conversation, that whole argument about the chain thing got brought up because of Dolly. Dolly still feels away. And let's go back to Sprinter 1. Okay, another reason why I said that Dolly feels away, and that Dolly feels away about Tavi getting the chain before her. Because when we go back to, when the scene flashback to Sprinter 1, all the girls, so all the girls were saying how they felt like, you know, Tavi deserved the chain. And this is coming from her people that she don't fought, like Fauna, fucking Cold Killer, and all of them. All of the girls was like, yeah, Tavi deserved her chain. She stood on business. You know what I'm saying? So while they're having that conversation saying how Tavi earned the chain, you got Dolly on the other Sprint Event snatching the girl chain off. Okay? So to me, that gave me like, bitch, you was a straight up motherfucking hater. And not only that, Cold Killer said, like, you know, I give a bitch props when it's due. Like, she did just fight us, but at the same time, she do deserve her chain. But that bitch Dolly felt the way. And then we flash to the scene and we see where Dolly ended up snatching Tavi's chain. So yeah, Dolly is definitely coming off a hater, but we're gonna get back to her in a little bit. Okay. So they managed to stop the fighting for probably a brief second. Next thing you know, Dolly turns her back to Tavi, and I don't know how the fuck you felt like it was okay to turn your back to a bitch after you just snatched the chain off. But she turns around for some reason or the other, and Tavi stole the shit out of her. it was funny as fuck. It was funny and it was well deserved. Like, bitch, that's the one time I'm okay with a bitch getting stole. So Dolly ended up pulling out the strobe light and was swinging that bitch at Tavi. So it was like they was in there having a fucking alien war, like a fucking Star Wars. Like they said, it was like Star Wars. That bitch had that strobe light, was swinging that bitch. She was swinging the fuck out of that damn strobe light. And she was swinging the fuck out of that strobe light, child. So anyway, they ended up pulling up to what I thought was like a literal hotel. Okay, they pull up to the spot. Natalie's waiting on them, and you see the front of the building says Baddies Africa Hotel or Baddies Hotel or some shit like that. So anywho, Rolly's the first one to get off the van. She get off the bed, her hair's fucked up, wild, looking disheveled and shit. And she's like, damn, she's like, they hit me and I ain't even did nothing. So she's telling, as she's getting off the van, telling Natalie like what the fuck going on. She's telling Natalie like, you know what I'm saying? She was like they in there jumping on Tavi and Rican and what's her name? Rican and LCK ain't doing shit. Like they just sitting there letting their friend get beat up. Like they ain't trying to jump in and try to help. I do nothing. So then Rican starts to say like, not Rican but Russian. I keep getting Rican and Russian mixed up, but Russian was like. She was like, what am I? She's like, I'm not getting in that. I'm not getting in that. She's like, I got my arm. My arm is injured. You know, me and her's not cool like that or some shit she was saying. Now, we're going to get to the bottom. We're going to get more into that a little later. But basically, Russian was like, no. Like, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, she's standing up there with her hand wrapped up. So, I mean, you know. But I'm going to hold my thought on that. We'll come back to that. Okay? So, while Rolly's telling Natalie and the other girls what's going on, the scene flash and we see fucking Dolly getting pulled off the van by the security guard. This bitch pulling the fucking security guard like he the one did something too. Rolly had to say, stop. He ain't did nothing.
Electric chair.
Oh shit. God damn it.
Electrocute that bitch. And I want you to pour some water on her first.
So, they snatch Dolly ass off the van and then she takes off her motherfucking shirt, titties out and everything. She just straight hood, straight gangster in the middle of the motherfucking street in broad daylight in fucking Africa. I was thinking to myself, like, is this bitch gonna go to jail for public indecency or indecent exposure? How that shit go? Is somebody gonna get this bitch? She need a ticket. She need a whole fucking ticket. So anywho, Dolly runs back up on Tavi because Tavi was standing at the edge of the van. She was like, I'm not gonna get out because you got Big Legs standing up there. You got fucking Dolly prancing around like two fucking hungry ass hyenas. She's like, these hoes are not gonna jump me. Like, what's up? But eventually she gets off the van and her and Dolly runs up on her. Them two start popping it off and fighting real quick. Now, it was a quick little rattle tab. Like, both of them got a couple of leaks in. They broke that up. But then her and Big Legs square up. Nah. Woo. Woo. Big Legs won. I just put it like that. Big Legs beat Tavi ass twice in a row. Okay, they had 2 rounds. In the first round, she had fucking Big Legs had Tavi ass falling to the ground. Okay, the second round, man, look. Tavi didn't stand a chance because Big Legs' arm was so motherfucking long. Tavi couldn't get to her. But yeah, that didn't work. That was terrible. That was terrible. But I do commend her for sticking in there, hanging in there, whatever you want to call it. Okay. The next we get to see Tavi versus Dolly. Now, this was a good fight. This was a good one. Okay, they squared up twice. The first time I'll say it was kind of like a tie, but when they connected again, I feel like Tavi got the better of that. I really do. She had Dolly ass leaking. Don't get me wrong, Tavi face was fucked up too, but I think that came from Lex. All of that was Lex. You feel me? The nose, all of that, because Lex was hitting her ass in the face, like straight face shot. Boom, 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 straight in the face. I believe that came from Lex. That second fight though, Dolly ass was fucking leaking, spitting blood and shit like a fucking llama. Just nasty. Just fuck that hoe. I'm a monster. But bitch, you walk around. Child. Yeah, I get that to Tavi, the second round. Okay. So then next, so now it's like, okay, well, shit, is the fight done? Like, can we go see the house now? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so DTB's like, hold on, no, Natalie, hold on, wait, Natalie, I want to fight. And so Natalie thought that DTB was talking about her at first. So Natalie, what? You want to fight? So she pump faking like she ready to do something. Child, she gonna slowly drop down her purse. Bitch, you for the fight for real? You for the fight for real? Like, stop playing games. Stop trying to act like you, girl, child. But if DTB was gonna fight you, you wouldn't have been, child, whatever. So anyway, DTB was talking about Chocho. So she was like, I got my tennis shoes on now. So Chocho she stepped to the field. Now, and mind you, those neat braids back, that shit was fire. Like, Chocho could have wore them braids as a hairstyle. Cause that bitch, when I tell you them braids was fire, the way she had them bitches pulled back, pulled back tight, okay? So then Chocho square up. All I say is, I feel like it was a tie. Okay, the way that Chocho handled DTB that first time they fought over the room situation, that was hands down like Chocho whooped her ass. But this time DTB was with her. You know what I'm saying? She was sticking with her, okay? And the craziest part about it, she ended up popping Chocho in the other eye. So now the girl got two black eyes. But that was a good fight. It was a good fight, okay? It was a good fight. DTB is definitely stepping up her game with her fighting skills, child. So, finally, the girls get a chance to go inside the new house and check out and see everything. And let me just tell you, right now, this... I know I probably have said this a couple of times, but this is the best house that Zeus have. Like, these girls is... They doing it up nice, okay? This house is really really big. It's giving like villa style. Now they said it was a hotel. I don't know if they booked the whole hotel or whatever the case was, but it was more like a villa style house. Really nice. All the girls for the most part got their own space. You know, you could tell who was the OGs and who wasn't because that determined how big or nice the room was, but I would say that all the girls seem to have a nice, to have their own space and have a nice space while they're at it. That is itself a Russian cream because when the girls went in looking for their rooms, the rooms are already assigned, and Russian cream couldn't find her room. So I wonder, they probably put that bitch down in the basement or the dungeon or something, child. I don't know. But Natalie grabs Tavi and takes Tavi to her room. So when she takes Tavi to her room, Tavi's in there, you know, she's venting. Like, at this point, she's like livid, mad. The bitch got like ice pack on her nose. Her mouth is bloody. Her blood all over her shirt. She just, homegirl look tore. But she's livid at this point. So she's like, you know, basically saying like she feel like, you know, Big Lex and Dolly had basically plotted on her. Like, she feel like they wanted to fight with her or pick with her for a storyline. You know what I'm saying? She was like, you know, especially as far as Lex don't keep that same energy off camera. Like, and that's starting to be a thing, like, with Lex. Well, it ain't starting to be a thing. That's something that we picked up on last season with Lex. It seemed like the producers come and tell her, okay, activate Lex. And so they'll go and they'll activate her ass, and that's when we'll see Lex, you know, getting rowdy, body. But for the most part, Lex just plays in the background. So it's like we see this whole new person when it's time for her to try to get her camera time. Because other than that, we don't see Lex and really hear much from Lex. And then the way that Dolly went straight for her chain. So Tavi particularly felt like they plotted on her because of that chain situation. She really felt like, you know, Dolly was mad at her about this whole chain thing. So I don't know, child, but I do know that Dolly's a hating ass bitch because, like Tavi said, like, y'all fighting. Why is it the first thought that occurred to you is to snatch this girl chain? Like, why is that the first thought that occurred to you? But I don't know, child. So anyway, in the next room, you have Big Lex, and she's talking to Russia, and she feels some type of... Big Lex is basically, you know, feeling some type of way because she was like, the way that Rolly kept confronting Russian and Elsie about standing up for Tavi, she was like, well, y'all not even real friends like that. Da, 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 da. So she felt some type of way about it. They going back and forth about that whole situation. Meanwhile, Rolly is making her rounds, honey. Rolly is making her rounds because she didn't like the fact that Elsie and Russian was hanging with Tavi and friends with Tavi from the jump, and now all of a sudden all this stuff is going on with Tavi, and all of a sudden y'all not cool with her, child. So let's get into it. So Rolly pulls up on Elsie first. She told Elsie that she had no purpose of being there. She was like, you serve no purpose. You and Russian need to go home. Like, y'all serve no purpose. Like, it was funny as hell. Elsie kept trying to explain herself. She was like, what? She's like, no, I try to break it up, Rolly. I try to break it up. And then she goes in on Russian. Now, this may be an unpopular opinion, okay? Because when Rolly came in there to confront Russian about why she didn't try to help Tavi when Dolly and Lex was jumping on her and they were supposed to be cool or whatever, the first thought popped in my head, well, bitch, you doing all this hoopla, but why you ain't help? But then the second thought popped in my head, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but the second thought popped in my head was that Russian should have jumped in. She should have jumped in. Because if you understand the way that this show works, that camera time is important. And Russian pretty much plays in the background. Other than that situation she had with Rolly, which she should be grateful to Rolly for giving her some shine. Because had it not been for that situation, I would have forgot Russian was even there. That's just the honest truth about it. And I feel like with the way that the show works, this could have been an opportunity for her to get her some camera time and do her big one. You feel me? If for nothing else, at least to get you some camera time. You know what I'm saying? To work, to activate what the rest of the girls doing. You see how Lex sitting over there, you know what I'm saying? And I might have to walk that back a little bit by getting on Lex's case for doing shit for camera time. Because at the end of the day, at least she put in work. You know what I'm saying? Whenever she do decide to put in work for no reason, she put in work. So I feel like this would have been a good moment for Russian to get in there. Even if her and Tavi ain't the best of friends, you still could have got in there. You feel me? Because this is somebody you've been rolling with. And if you and then another thing too, because Natalie ended up coming in the room with her, and Natalie ended up coming in the room with Rolly and Russian while they was talking. And so Natalie was basically trying to put her up on game. Natalie was telling her, like, you know what I'm saying? In this business, you need friends. You can't stand alone. Like, your alliances do matter. You feel me? And even if she was feeling some type of weird way about Tavi, which she claimed that she told Tavi that she was pulling back from her because she felt the ways about Tavi going to talk to the ops and stuff like that. She was just, in Russia's mind, she feel like, bitch, I'm gonna be the same way on camera that I am off camera. So you going to talk to the ops while we off camera is weird to me, which I can understand too, because everybody is not for TV. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't just snap in and out of character like that. So I can understand that too. However, like I said before, this would have been a good time for her to get her some camera time in. And also, like Natalie said, the alliances when it comes to the baddies does matter. Because, bitch, the minute you get outcasted, everybody in the house is going to jump on the bandwagon to be against your ass. So the best bet is to hold on to the alliances that you do have. It's not Survivors, it's not Big Brothers, but it's something similar, bitch. I'll just tell you that much. For a whole lot less money, okay? So anyway, Tavi comes and pulls Russian for a conversation because Tavi certainly feels some type of way as well that Russian didn't help her. Okay, obviously she didn't expect that from Elsie because it seemed like she was more pressed about Russian, which from Tavi's perspective, I'm kind of like, okay, well, I can see why she pulled Russian and not Elsie. Okay, because her and Elsie had fell out. And her and Russian, Tavi and Russian was still hanging together. They was out together all last episode. So obviously she felt more in cahoots with Russian than she did Elsie. So she probably expected Russian to at least say something or do something versus just standing there, right? And so Russian was like, well, I feel that the way that you were moving and da 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 da, but I was thinking in my head, like, bitch, didn't you just tell Rolly them that you already talked to Tavi about this? So apparently this is the first time you actually telling Tavi how you really feel, which is why Tavi got so upset at you for not jumping in. It didn't go nowhere. And also too, I don't like Tavi. I get it, girl. Like you have like this real rough ass exterior, this real rough and tough exterior, but at the same time, that aggression is the reason why it's hard to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that Russian was trying to have a normal conversation, but Tavi was just hyped up. I feel like Tavi should have slept on that shit and then got up the next day while she was calm and more. I don't know, but then again, I don't think I ever seen Tavi ass calm. Like that bitch, like that bitch always like on one, like hype and aggressive. Like I don't know why that bitch. She always like that. So I don't know, but she would have probably been a lot less aggressive in the morning after she had her some toast and bacon and eggs and some coffee, some orange juice, something, and then y'all had this conversation. But I feel like at this point in time, she was too hype. Okay, and I get it. She wasn't trying to go there with Russian. You could see Tavi trying to restrain herself, but at one point, Russian turned around like she was like, "If you're not gonna let me talk, I'm gonna leave." Russian turned around and leave. Tavi reached for her ass and tried to snatch her ass back, but she had to. You could tell like she was trying to restrain herself. You could visibly see her struggling with her behavior. Like she was trying not to like go berserk, but Russian couldn't take the aggression, so she just walked out, and then Tavi ended up throwing an ice pack at her head. It was funny as hell because I could feel Tavi's frustration, man. Meanwhile, upstairs, you got the new three up there beefing with Dolly. They end up having a whole argument with Dolly. So basically, Fauna, Rican, and what's her name? The other girl, the other friend. They was up there getting their hair done, right? Get done by Glenn. Dolly comes in, sees Fauna, I believe, who was in the chair at the time getting her hair done. I don't know whichever one of them was getting their hair done, and demanded that they get the fuck out of there, or that's what it seemed like initially. Okay. So then Natalie goes and talks to the new girls to try to figure out what's going on with this whole situation. Okay? Well, but before she talked to them, she goes in and she speaks with Dolly. So basically, Dolly feels like the OGs should get their hair done first, their glam done first. Because in the previous season, last season, the new girls didn't even get glam. They had to do their own hair. So Dolly felt like her and Lex or whoever, the OGs, should have went first to get their hair done. I don't know who the fuck died and made her the boss, but last time I checked, it was Lenny. But whatever the case is, her and Fauna ended up getting into it. The girls ended up getting into it, blah, 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 blah. So then Natalie goes to talk to the new three and try to figure out what's going on. Okay? Now, the new three tells a slightly different story. They say that they was already in there getting their hair done. They was already, Fauna was damn near done getting her hair done. And say they was both of them was in there next to each other getting their hair done. Okay? So apparently there was two glam artists in there doing their hair. And Dolly just comes in there and basically try to tell them to get the fuck out the chair and starts picking fights with them and stuff like that. So Natalie's like, well, the way that it works is the OGs get their hair done first and then the newbies, because last year the newbies didn't even have glam. Y'all got glam this year, but y'all have to go after the OGs or whatever the whoop. And so then, when they tell her their side of the story, she's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know it happened like that. This is why people don't fuck with you, Natalie, because you be playing all sides. You can't play all sides. You have to be omniscient or neutral because you the CEO or CFO or whatever. You the CEO, whatever. You have to make sure that all the parties have a fair playing field. You feel me? That's part of your job as the EP, or that's what she is, the EP." That's part of your job, to make sure everybody got a fair playing field, okay? So for her to say like, oh, the newbies, the OGs go first, and then the newbies. Well, it's not that. It shouldn't work like that. It's whoever gets in there first to get their motherfucking hair done. Because, like Fauna said, they was in there since that morning. They got up early to get their glam done. Dolly come from the trenches of hell. Where the fuck she come from and think that she supposed to make them girls get up, get the fuck up, and go? Who the fuck is she? And besides, Dolly can do her own hair, so that was some hating ass shit. Because Dolly, you can do your own hair, bitch. You didn't need to wait on the glam. So even if it wasn't the case where the OGs go first, either way you didn't have to wait because you could have did your own shit. So for you to go in there and try to start with them girls and make them girls get the fuck out of there so you can get your hair done, that's some crazy shit. That's some Debo ass shit. I don't like that, okay? And I don't think it's fair. Now, I do understand that this must be a new privilege because I didn't know that all the girls didn't get glam. I thought all the girls was just getting glammed up or whatever. But apparently this is a new privilege to where they have the glam there for the girls, because I guess the girls was getting their hair done or, you know, paying other people to get their hair done. Now I think this is just part of the show. They have their own glam squad for the girls. It must be a new privilege, okay? You know, Zeus glowing up, the money getting bigger, so of course this might be a new privilege or whatever the case is. But Natalie needs to make it fair for everybody, because these type of situations is how she ends up in the middle of shit. She's sitting up there playing all sides of the field instead of just saying, hey, whoever gets in there first, gets in there first. It is what it is. It's not no OG, new G shit, because then you say there wasn't no OGs and no new Gs. So don't start the level of segregation, because when you start segregating bitches and treating some girls different than you treat the other girls, the ones that you treat special go to feeling like they entitled to shit when you tell their ass no. That's why you go to getting that entitled shit, because the girls that you've been on spoiled and gave them privileges and shit, once you get tired of them having their way with shit and you want to put your foot down, they don't had enough. They don't been playing with your ass so long they can't take you serious. And that's kind of what type of time Dolly was on, because when Natalie came in there trying to talk that shit to Dolly ain't really want to hear it. So that's just to show you, like, Natalie, you put yourself in a lot of these predicaments when it comes to these girls. So anyway, Natalie tells them, like, look, y'all, I'm gonna see y'all downstairs. We're gonna get ready. It's time to get ready for the talent show. So the girls meet up. They come downstairs and they perform this. They have like this talent show. Now they had a whole fucking theater area inside that villa or house or hotel or whatever the fuck they was staying at. That bitch was lit. I ain't gonna lie. This house was nice. So the girls started walking downstairs. As they coming down, Brody is one of the first girls to come down, and she looked like an oversized, overweight ballerina with that fucking outfit on. She looked like a fat ass ballerina. That's just what she looked like. And that damn tutu coming down them damn stairs. So anyway, not all of the girls performed for this talent show. Now allegedly Natalie was supposed to be paying the girls some type of grand prize. I'm not sure what the prize was. I think it was $5,000. But for $5,000, bitch, I'd have been up there shaking ass. Bitch, I ain't got that much ass, but bitch, I'd have been shaking bone gristle. Bitch, I'd have been up there doing something, trying to get me an extra $5,000 too. I ain't never too cute to make me $5,000, bitch. Give me $100, bitch. I'll twerk for that shit. But anyway, not all the girls decided to participate. Only a few of them. But the ones that I feel like did really good, well, shit, it was only 4 of them that performed, shit. Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if any of the other girls performed because of how the episode ended. So, I don't really know if any of the other girls was going to perform. But the ones we got to see perform, trust me, it was nothing to watch. So, Chocho, she did like this. She came up with this little song called "Bad Black Bitch." Now it was cute for her to been on Made It Up on the Fly. It was kind of cute, and she got a nice voice. You know what I'm saying? So if you ask me, I think between Chocho and DTB, they did the best. I think it'll be a tie between them two. Now we don't know if anybody else performed yet because of everything and how the episode ended, which we finna get to. But I think DTB and Chocho did the best. Now DTB, when she came up, she did her song "Line It Up," but she did it with a little twist. Okay, so instead of getting up there rapping the song, she did it in a poetic kind of way, and the shit was funny. Like, I was on the floor. Diamond is stupid as hell, and it was very creative. Okay, on down to her putting on a ski mask. That shit was creative as fuck. But Chocho felt like Diamond was throwing shade because, mind you, Chocho was walking around throughout the episode with that ski mask on, trying to cover up her black eyes. And she came to the talent show with shades on, so it kind of seemed like I get why she thought that Diamond was throwing shade, right? Rolly came up there. She shoved a banana down her guzzle, and I'm not gonna lie, it was impressive. Like, when she first said that she was gonna do the banana thing, I was like, oh man, child, everybody know you can eat a dick, bitch. You can eat a lot, not just a dick, okay? But it was low-key impressive because, bitch, like, that banana disappeared. Okay. Cold Killer came up. She did hers acapella, okay, because they fucked up her soundtrack again. Poco Killer can't catch a break. She can't catch a break. So she comes up and do her Bad Bitch Party song, and she rapping it acapella. The whole girl was hyping it, the motherfucker. The motherfucker ain't like a nigga up there. You would have thought that she was doing drill rap the way she was up there. So DTB dumbass started singing the Baddie Party song that she had with Tink. Mind you, the song with Tink and the song that Cold Killer have, they have like the same. They both have the sample from the same song, so the song sounds similar. And so DTB went to singing her song over what you call the song. It just sounded like it just sounded like a bunch of yelling, but it was funny, okay? And what I will say to Cold Killer is that, bitch, you got a lot of heart, for one, and you also have a lot of energy, okay? So I ain't heard none of her music, so I can't really say if her artistry match up, but I think performance wise, she stand a chance, okay? She stand a chance. Now, Ricky got up there and did a little 1-2, you know, she rapped a little song and did a little twerk. It was cute, but her accent is so thick, so you couldn't really understand none of the words she was saying. I just happened to understand because she's from the South, and a lot of people from the South talk fast as hell and got a country ass slang, aka like myself. So I understood what she was saying, but I know a lot of people probably couldn't, because that's a thing. Some people tell me I talk too fast too. So, you know, that's that. So, anywho, after Cold Killer did her song, right? Diamond, no. Natalie was like, well, who dropped their song first? Now, if I'm not mistaken, Cold Killer dropped her song first. So then Cold Killer and DTB started arguing about who dropped the song first. And so Natalie was like, okay, well, let me just FaceTime Tinka. And she FaceTimes Tinka and Cold Killer started arguing at each other. Child, that was where the episode ended off. And it was so not needed. Like, we did not... Tinkerbella, you should be somewhere nursing that damn baby inside your stomach. Don't be sitting up here trying to argue with a bitch and go into early labor while you sitting up here arguing with a bitch tomorrow when you drop your load. Please let that baby finish baking, okay? We ain't worried about you, Tinkerbella. Stay over there where the hell you at, Tinkerbella. Okay? It was so not needed. It was just so... ugh. But, child, yes, that's where the episode ended, y'all. So... I think this was pretty good because we got to see a lot of different things, like a lot of different scenes. Because, you know, they'll drag on a fight and cut that bitch into 2, and it was a lot of different fights. And thankfully, they didn't cut it into like 3-4 episodes with the same people fighting in the same day. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I was pretty entertained. Hell, shit, even the talent show was mildly entertaining. So with that being said, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And like I said, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I love you guys. Deuces.